Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 43. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report that does have a horror story just because we are getting close to Halloween. It is Yieldnode and Decenomy coins. It's not looking very good. We're going to have a closer look at exactly how bad it is. On top of this, we obviously also have great positive news. We had a video just released with the CEO of the Trillant platform, and Trilando is getting very, very close now to being launched. That will happen before the end of the month. On top of this, also we have our trading, and Alex has a few videos for us. A lot of things are looking positive, but let's start with Yieldnodes. Now we all know that we are not getting our weekly profits at the moment, and most probably not for an entire year. So in the future we will just get the quarterly profits of 5%. Exactly when that's going to kick in, we are not exactly sure of, but it could be as late as December 2022, so at the end of the year. But we'll have to see, we'll have to wait for this. Right now the information that we are looking for, based on the timeline that Steve gave us, will be providing an asset overview by the auditors, and definitely we hope that something will come out of this, most probably the next week, since 1 week has already gone by. But hopefully early October we should know a bit more about it, how bad it actually is. Hope they will share at least a bit of it. On top of this, there was also the announcement that they're going to open the withdrawal. The withdrawal not going to be as it used to be here, so we are still talking about auction style, where you can decide how many percent you are willing to lose in order to try and get some of your profits out here. Obviously we don't know how many wants to go in either, so it is a bit of a lottery at the moment. So time will tell once this has been officially announced when it's going to happen and exactly how it's going to happen. So on Monday we got a few pictures, as you see here. This is Urs being back in Malta, being back in the Decenomy office. This was shared on the Facebook groups, and we can obviously see him holding up a newspaper also to make sure that he actually was back, and it was a recent picture. The other picture you have on the laptop here is actually Steve's laptop, showing here again that he hasn't sold any of his SAPP coins. He's sticking with it, holding on to them, similar to what we are at the moment. So it's very important, as we can see here, that the top of Yieldnodes / Decenomy will continue to work for us. Obviously we don't know exactly how much or how bad it is, but we wanted to have a chat with Urs this week. Unfortunately this got delayed, and right now it's postponed until next week. We do hope we get a chance to speak to him and also see a few of the staff, see how the mood is in the offices. Now if we have a look at the SAPP and Sapphire coin, then the mood is not very good at the moment. Return on investment per year for the shared masternoding here is basically the same as last week, 57.2%. Also, if you look at the shared masternoding, we can see that this particular week we made 2%, which is not too bad. But overall coin development did have a stop last week. Now we see there's a further decline in it, and we are now at the lowest so we ever been with the Sapphire coin at minus 53.5%. So definitely not very good news. If we look at it here, we could see there was a retracement we talked a bit about last week, and since then it has gone further downhill, and that is the reason for the bad numbers. Taking a look at the PNY, we can also see here that the return on the investment per year at the moment is very stable, so less than 1% difference. And when it comes to the shared masternoding, it's about 10% per month that we are doing at the moment. But it's not really holding up against the overall coin development, which is still down. And even though it looks green here, we are only 0.5% from the all-time low. So all-time low was just shy of 94%. So definitely this is still not a good situation. And the graph looks like this. We could see there was a bit of a hold and then a small climb, and then after that it seems to have gone a bit downhill again. And obviously that's not very good news for any of the coin holders, but we have to be strong. We have to keep on the coins and just keep on the shared masternoding. Nothing else you can do with a market like this at the moment. Birake has also been quite good and quite stable for a long time. But even here we see changes. And if we look at the return on the investment, so for the entire year, it was 115% last week, and now we're up about 3%. So at least that's the good news when it comes to this part. On top of this, we can also see that we had about 3.5%. So on the shared masternoding, which is always nice, but the overall coin development again at the all-time low. And we are now also for the first time in minus 6.74%. The day before we were shooting this video, we were actually in the minus 40%. So it has been a positive correction in the last 24 hours. And this looks like so at the moment on the graph. Nobody can really see if there's a bottom or not, but definitely we are holding on to also this coin. Quick look at the Bitcoin versus USDT, and most of the week, and where we left it last week, it was trading sideways. It was trading in the 19,200 mark, and in the last couple of days we have seen a breakout out of the 20,000, and at the moment it's trading around the 20,800, and will be interesting to see if it can break out of most probably around the 22,000 will be the interesting mark to see. Elevate Pass, nothing new here. We are in week 43, and there is 0% still coming out, as we have mentioned and keep mentioning here. We do not believe that there will be any payouts this year for sure, but you still have the options to go in and trade or basically promote the different crypto trading courses. And you also have the opportunity to go in on the CoinFriend portal and put your ads in there. So that money that you already have with Elevate Pass are still there. You can still use it to go out and promote this on multiple different platforms. Now, last week we mentioned a bit about the roadmap. We talked about the Trillant and what was to come. And the first part that we now know for sure is coming, and it should be coming before the end of the month. So that means we have only a few days left. That is the Trilando marketplace. And we now understand that there's already at the launch time, there were more than 1,000 shops that will be online for this. And why we know this is on Sunday, there was a meeting again with the community and with the CEO. This was an interview in German, but within a few hours after we saw the English subtitles. And here Birake is explaining exactly the timeline again for this. So Trilando will be before the end of the month. And then also the second part will be the 2 exchanges where you can now go and get your Trillion coins exchanged into Bitcoin or into fiat money, whatever it is you want. That announcement will be most probably done somewhere between mid-November to end of November. So we have to wait a couple of weeks more in order to get that sorted. Now, we mentioned last week also here that the fiat deposit was stopped due to some banking audits. And that actually means that you can still get money out of UX. There is a delay, as we have mentioned before, and Birake also mentioned that in the video we have here. We'll make sure that the link to that video will be in the description, so you can go and have a look at that one. So the Bitcoin withdrawal was already set up to 0.3 instead, so double up the money. Now, the important part here is that once it goes on the exchange, at the moment you can buy the Trillion packs here, and that is at 10 cents. The initial part was 5, so obviously we doubled our money back then. But after the exchange will be open, who knows what the price will be? We don't know. Obviously, we hope it's going to go in the good and positive direction, especially if you already have 1,000 shops that want to use this coin here also. That's going to create a big demand, and obviously then the price will go up. Could also be the other way around. So obviously nobody knows still, but What we do know is that if you go in and you stake now, you are still set for the timeline. So that means that if you go in and stake now for 4 weeks, it will be, you will buy the Trillion coins at 10 cents and it will continue to be the same. So over the 4-week period, that will not change. For the 52 weeks, that is the only one that has a bit of a nice little feature in it, where when the price goes up, you get a chance roughly every month, from what we understand here, to stake at a higher coin price. So instead of the 10 cents and the coin has gone to 20, that will mean that you can basically double your weekly incomes as you are getting paid out here per week. So that is definitely a good option, and you have a few more weeks most probably to buy into these packages at 10 cents until the market value is gonna dictate exactly how much that's gonna be in the future. Now, we also mentioned last week that we did a video on the Ledger Nano S Plus tutorial on how you can buy, install, transfer to and from, a complete setup guide here. And that is obviously very important also for both Elevate Pass. It's good for the Trilando platform, Yieldnodes, once everybody is starting to pay out again. This is the best place, instead of transferring directly from these platforms into Binance or any other exchanges here. Transfer it back to your ledger, and that is a lot more safe. And then from there on, you can basically move whatever money you want if you want to exchange it on any of the exchanges in the future. So the video will be also in the description below with the link to make sure that you don't miss out on this one. Now, Solar Farm version 2, there hasn't been much hype on this in the last week, and we can also see a slight slowdown. If we look at the TVL, it has gone down only by 13% this week, so obviously still in the wrong direction, but less than what it used to be. Panels owned is up by 71% this week, and the panel value is basically 0, so no big change. And then the exchange rate itself is also in the 7% mark. Now, if we have a look at the BNB versus US dollars, we can see that it pretty much follows the trend from the Bitcoin. It has been trading sideways also around the 270, 275 mark. Now it has broken out, and now we're up at $292 as it's trading right now. Solar Farm 1, that was also fairly stable last week, almost in 0 or slightly positive. This particular week, it was almost at the same level until one day before we were shooting this video. And that means the TVL is down by 3%. Our panels owned is up by 163%, so nice and positive. And then the panel value and the daily reward, unfortunately, just dropped about 2%. But the major drops we haven't seen many of lately. It looks like still the people that are holding on to these coins don't want to sell, and we want to see exactly what's going to happen with the solar farm in the future. Having a look at the solar versus BNB, we made a little orange marker here for where we ended up last week, as unfortunately we cannot zoom in anymore. And that has a positive ring to it. So even though there was a big buy, there was also a big sell-off, but the trend is that it's going forward. It will be interesting to see in the next couple of weeks if this can be turned around too. AI marketing, well, we have no news apart from the rumors that we shared with you last week here. The platform itself is still being updated. It looks like the sites are being updated and worked on, but we can't really confirm anything right now, and obviously we cannot confirm any profits either. The next meeting that might or might not take place is on the 1st of November, and obviously again we don't have too much faith in these meetings being kept. They have been delayed now for several months, but anyway, we'll keep you informed if something new happens on this too, of course. On the robot side, we don't have any new robots. We are still running with the 18 profit retriever robots that we have, as you can see also on the different metal indexes and currency pairs. The one that stand out for us this particular week is the Aussie New Zealand dollar, and that one had a close call. It did have a margin call. It did lose a couple of thousand, and exactly how you can see on the graph here. So it ended, and this red marker is basically where the wrong trade entered in. So the robot did a buy trade at the time, thinking the price was going up, and then obviously we can see a heavy trend. So on the Aussie dollar losing against the New Zealand, and where you see the green lines are stopping and the little orange marker is basically where it stopped trading. It went below the 100% that the broker has for us here. And then later on, it went into a margin call, closed a couple of trades off. So in order to try and save the account. Now we know it's difficult here so to see, but basically the account at this time also was still at 16,800, and you could see the price was moving back up again. And we took this picture in here basically to show you that don't necessarily blow your account. What we could have done is obviously start hedging, means basically start putting sell orders in here instead. We haven't done that on this particular demo account because we wanted to see how it evolved. But what we also know here is that the setting that it entered with at the time was a very high setting with lot sizes. And we have changed that since then. But obviously as the trading started, we had to live with this particular one. And it just shows us again that the new lot size and numbers that we are using is a lot better. Most probably also a change in the grid size will make sure that you don't get to this point ever. Now, despite what you saw there, we have actually had a new all-time high. So obviously it continues to go up as a portfolio overall. And on the weekend, we actually made the first 100,000 on the 18 demo accounts that you have previously seen here. And when you look at the graph, when we are trading so many different accounts at the same time, the graph starts to look really, really nice. And definitely it takes out a bit of the stress if you only have 1 or 2 accounts and they go into a drawdown and don't make any money for a week or two. If you have 18 different ones, then you can see things are coming in every single day and it becomes overall much more stable. So that is definitely something that we recommend people to do, and you can still do it with smaller cent account. Now overall we had some really high jumpers on the top 5 for the week 42 here, and the British pounds USD obviously has had a really good time. So especially taking into consideration the political environment that the UK has been in for the last couple of weeks. So we made 12.5% on the British pounds versus USD. And it's nice to see that the US 30 index is back in. Once the profit retriever actually hits the right way, then it makes a lot of money. And since it has been positive for the last week, it's been cashing in as much as 11.7%. So that has been a really good development. The US Canadian has also done quite well, 11.0% for the week. And then the most stable one that we have, because Euro USD has now been in the top 5 for 6 weeks straight. Definitely it is on a run at the moment. And even though it's not the highest, 8.6% for a week is definitely good enough for us. Aussie USD is also there with 5.3%. So overall, we actually made $4,900 or at 9.8%. So very good return on the robot as usual. If you want to know more about the profit retriever, so you can go to our website. You will see all the links for the individual trades. You can also see it as a portfolio, so how we have set this up. On top of this, we have the copy link trading, where the profit retriever is still 95% of all the robots you can copy in there. And that obviously also leads to the website of Expert Forex. And Alex has sent out a link this particular week. Normally on the weekends, he is updating all the signals. We have quite a few of them in there. I believe we have something like 15 at the moment. And you can obviously link up to these and many other ones, and they look something like this, where we have taken the top ones. You will see that the profit retriever is basically all of the top ones here. There's only Make Money Robot, one in there in this particular one. These are the top ones that we just took out. And the returns on the monthly gains is up to 65% as it looks at the moment. And the lower ones here is 13. So extremely good development, and it also looks like a lot of people are having a lot of fun and do understand the robot. So in order to make a bit of money, we are definitely seeing this as the first positive robot in many, many years that can produce such stability. On top of this, Alex has also sent out another one, and this is a robot that comes together with 8 free 8 video courses. A robot that he traded from 5,000 to 2 million. And if you're interested in this, you can go in and have a closer look at it. This also comes in with the last video he has here. And this is the easy signal. It's RSI, where you can actually get some decent big results out of this, and the initial signal then turned into a robot that you can also get through Expert Forex. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. We hope you enjoyed it as always, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.